there's no place like home. Hello, I'm Andy Cloud with the Heartland Running Podcast, and today I'm here to review the Inov-8 RoadClaw 275. If you're not familiar with the company Inov-8, they are a European shoe manufacturer that make trail running and fell running shoes. They also happen to make a road running shoe. First off, some information about the shoe. The RoadClaw is a daily runner for a neutral foot motion. Now some quick facts. The weight of the shoe is 10.2 ounces in a size 9. The stack height is 22 millimeter at the heel, 16 millimeter at the forefoot, and has an 8 millimeter drop. The lug depth is 3.5 millimeters, and this shoe has a street value of $120. So let's dig into the design of the shoe. The upper is made of a synthetic mesh that's lightweight, breathable, and also has a cushioned tongue that's made with the same material. Now the midsole has moderate underflow cushioning. So what that means is it's about the middle of the road for the other shoes that's in the Inov-8 line. There's going to be some that have more cushioning, some that are going to have just a little bit less. This is in the middle. Power Flow. This is the company's midsole compound for shock absorption and energy return. And then the dynamic fascia band. And this is going to run from the heel to the forefoot and acts as a rigid lever arm. And so what this is going to do is this is going to release energy and propel you forward as you run. And finally, the outsole. It's made with a sticky fusion compound with a mix of synthetic rubber and EVA. And this is what's going to give the shoe its superior grip and smooth ride. Also, on the heel, right down here at the bottom, is the pterodactyl plate. Now this is a heavy, thick, durable protection for the heel for all of you naughty heel strikers. My experience with the RoadClaw 275. Right outside of the box, this is an attractive shoe. I really like how it looks. I like the color, and I also like all of the designs and color of the entire Inov-8 line. I think they do a really good job in putting out a nice looking shoe. And at $120, I think that's a really great price for what you get. And what you get is a very durable and long-lasting shoe. I've run approximately 300 miles in this pair of shoes, and I have to say I've been very happy with the miles that I've run. I've taken this shoe over a lot of various different types of terrain. Obviously roads, the majority of the miles have been on the road, but I've also taken this shoe onto some trails. Yes, a road shoe on the trails, and it performed excellent. Furthermore, I did a little bit of technical stuff in the testing of this shoe, and I found that about 90 to 80% of the time, it performed very well. There were some instances where I did wish that I did have a little bit more grip, but hey, it's a road shoe. As advertised, the upper of the shoe is very breathable, and I had no moisture issues inside the shoe, whether it be sweat or running through some water and the inside of the shoe getting wet. It would dry out just fine. Also, the upper material is very, very tough, and I'm happy to say that sometimes I'll have a problem over here with the pinky toe starting to wear through the material, and after 300 miles it still looks like it's brand new. So I've been very impressed with the durability of that material here. The overlays, everything is still in place, nothing's coming apart. And also I really like this front rock plate right here, which is going to protect the front of the shoe and is also really heavy duty. Double stitching on the front, so this is not going to come apart. And like I said, this is just a very high quality, heavy built, tough shoe. Because the RoadClaw is built so heavy, there might be some things that some runners might not like about it. And one of them is it's not a very flexible shoe. And it was even stiffer than this whenever it first came out of the box. After I ran a few miles in this and got the materials to loosen up a little bit, it did a little bit better. But this is never going to be an extremely flexible shoe. And so if that bothers you, then this might not be the right shoe for you. Another thing is the responsiveness. It's only moderately responsive. That's not an issue for me. I don't mind having a little bit less feel of the road and less feel of the trail, but some people may. And so that's another thing that you might want to consider is you're not going to get a lot of road feel or trail feel out of these shoes. So referencing back to the materials used in the sole of the shoe, this is very tough material. And I'll get a little closer here, and you can see that there's very little wear on this. And this is 300 miles on this shoe. You see the majority of the wear right here in the midfoot, and that's usually where I strike. And there's just not a lot of material that's worn away there. This is really a tough soled shoe. And this is a shoe that I think you're going to be able to get a lot of miles out of. I've had shoes that, 300 miles and they're done for. But this has 300 miles on it. I think they're just really starting to get broken in. I think you can get 600 miles out of a pair of shoes like this. And that all goes into, the value of what you're getting in this package. The comfort of the RoadClaw. I found this shoe to not be the most comfortable shoe that I've ever worn, but it's certainly not the least. It feels good when you run in it, and I really have no complaints other than just a few small things. The size, it fits true to size, and so you can order your normal size. It's not either big nor small. I noticed that the heel tends to be just a little bit more narrow than most of the shoes that I've gotten into. And at first I didn't know if I was going to like that or not, but after running it a little bit, I really like that, especially doing some trails, doing a little bit of downhill stuff. It tends to lock my foot into place, and my foot's not sliding around inside my shoe. And so I liked that aspect of it. Moving into the midfoot, out of the box, I found that the midfoot was really tight, and I had to loosen the laces up just as much as possible, and that seemed to help. But still, whenever you first put the shoes on, they're going to feel a little bit tight in the midfoot, but as you go out on your run, it tends to loosen up a little bit. I don't know if those materials stretch, but it does improve, and so, just right at the beginning, it's going to feel a little bit tight and then get better. Moving on into the toe box, it has a nice wide toe box that's going to give your feet the ability to splay, your toes to spread out. So you're going to have more stability when you run, and it's also better for your feet too, in my opinion. So I think that's a win with this shoe here, is with the wide toe box. And so there's a few goods, a few bads on comfort, but none really bad. And I think they're a comfortable shoe and I enjoy them. So I did run in these shoes a 50K Ultra. This was a race that was run on a combination of asphalt and rails to trails. So the first part of the race started out on asphalt and then transitioned into the trail, which was a loose pack gravel. I thought that these were absolutely perfect for that application because I had the comfort and then I had the grip for the gravel trails. And I had absolutely no issues with these shoes whatsoever. In fact, I had a spare pair of shoes in my drop bag just in case things weren't going right with my shoe. And whenever I got to the drop bag, I had absolutely no desire to change the shoes, and they were comfortable the entire time, and they performed flawlessly, and I would run another race in them for sure. So, is the RoadClaw a shoe that's going to be the only shoe in your closet? Well, the answer to that is no. This is a shoe that's not perfect for all occasions. If it's hot outside, the heavy construction might be a little too hot. There's going to be some times where you just don't need that much grip and that much shoe on your foot. But there are going to be some occasions that show up that you're going to want this in your arsenal. There's going to be those cold, snowy days, wet, rainy roads that you're going to want to reach for this shoe every time because it's going to get you through your run. Also, with the heavy construction and the quality materials that go into this shoe and the long-lasting sole that you're going to get many, many miles out of this, $120 is definitely a bargain. And so I really recommend this shoe. I think you should go out and give them a try.